Article 1490. The husband and the wife cannot sell property to each other, except 1. When a separation of property was agreed upon in the marriage settlements, or 2. When there has been a judicial separation of property under Article 191. So, ano bang nangyayari sa property after ng marriage? So, ito not wholly related, I think, to the article. Pero, medyo masaya lang siya and parang maganda lang din na alam natin. So, ang mangyayari sa property, unang-una is kapag meron kang prenup or yung tinatawag nating separation of property. So, ito yung magpe-proceed. So, ang kay husband lang. Ang kay wife lang. Yung fruits ng property nila is kanila lang din. Wala tayong conjugal property. If wala kang prenup and kinasal ka before August 3, 1988, ang susundin mong regime is conjugal partnership of gains. Pero, if kinasal ka on August 3 or after August 3, 1988, pasok ka sa absolute community. So, yung August 3, ito yung kailan pinirmahan ng ating family code. So, ano bang mangyayari? So, ang ano talaga dyan is yung conjugal property. So, ang conjugal property, ito yung property that belongs to the spouses or to both spouses. So, pag-aari ng mag-asawa. Kung dun ka sa conjugal partnership of gains, so, yung property ni wife and ni husband before marriage, kanila lang din yun. After marriage, sila pa rin yung may-ari nun. Hindi siya pumapasok ng conjugal property. Pero yung fruits ng property nila is papasok sa conjugal property. Kumbaga, before marriage ang akin pa rin. Kahit kinasal na siya. Pero yung absolute community, lahat ng pag-aari ni wife and lahat ng pag-aari ni husband, after ng marriage, papasok siya sa conjugal property. Though with exceptions to. Ang exceptions dito is, 1 is, natatanggap ng spouses by gratuitous title. Yung gratuitous title is either in-inherit or dinonate kay spouse during the marriage. And the second is yung personal use na property like clothing. Kung kay husband yung damit, si husband lang may-ari nun. With exception dito is yung jewelry. So yung jewelry is conjugal property siya. And then third is yung property na in-acquire during the former marriage and may children na involved dun sa former marriage. Ito is para maprotektahan yung inheritance ng mga children dun sa unang kasal. So, sample lang tayo. So, conjugal partnership of gains. So, si Homer and si Marge Simpson. So, ito yung property nila before marriage. After marriage, saan mapupunta yung property nila? So, si Homer, meron siyang rental property. Ang nag-earn ito ng rental income and meron siyang 500,000 sa bangka. Si Marge is, meron siyang certificate of stocks. Meron nag-earn ito ng dividend income and meron siyang 1 million from the bank. So, yung house ni Homer or yung rental property, yun ay property niya lang din after marriage. Pero yung rental income, pasok na siya sa conjugal property. 500,000 niya sa bank, kanya lang din yun. Certificate, same with Marge, yung certificate kanya, pero yung earnings sa conjugal property. Yung 1 million niya sa bank, kanya lang din. And for example, itong 1 million na to, pinambili ni Marge ng kotse. Yung kotse yun, si Marge lang din ang may-ari. Hindi siya pumapasok sa conjugal property. Pero yung mga earnings nila, yung sweldo nila after marriage, conjugal yun. So, say, pumasok naman sila or kinasal sila after August 3, 1988. So, lahat ng property nila, papasok siya sa conjugal property. Wala silang separate na pag-aari. No exceptions dito is kapag naka-inherit sila. So, for example, meron father si Homer. Kunwari, meron siyang bahay. Namatay siya before sila ikasal. So, na-inherit na niya to before marriage. Itong property na to, hindi siya property ni Homer. Property siya ng conjugal property after marriage. Kasi, nung kinasal sila, dinalan na niya to. So, lahat ng pag-aari niya, before silang kasal is conjugal. Pero kung yung father niya is namatay after the marriage or in-inherit niya after the marriage or during the marriage, after the wedding. So, ito is property lang to ni Homer. Hindi siya papasok sa conjugal. And then, so, back tayo sa article natin. So, ang general rule natin is cannot sell. Exception 1. Prenup. 2. Judicial separation. So, pag-usapan natin bakit pinoprohibit or bawal magbentahan ng mag-asawa. So, first is para maprotektahan ang third persons, especially creditors, against fraud dahil dun sa pag-transfer ng property from one spouse to another. I think, yata na ang pwede lang habulin if ang may utang loss is si husband. Ang pwede lang yata niya habulin is yung property ng husband. Parang may ganun atang pangyayari. And then second is to prevent abuse of the influence of one spouse over the other. So, para ma-prevent yung abuse or intimidation during the marriage and ma-protektahan yung sanctity of the marriage. Not just about the interest. And then third is to prevent or to avoid donation in the guise of sale. So, gusto na talaga nilang magkaroon ng donation, pero nagpapanggap sila na nagkaroon sila ng sale para ma-prevent yung donor's tax. So, yung in-enter nilang contract of sale is void. So, for example, si husband na siyang property. Sa titulo niya, nakalagay dito ay si husband. Pero diba, after marriage, ito, kahit nasa papel, nakalagay property lang siya ni husband. Pero in essence, property siya ni husband and ni wife. Kasi, papasok siya sa conjugal property. So, if kahit palitan mo siya ng wife, ang mangyari, property pa rin nila ito. Parang medyo weird nga kung bakit nila gagawin. Pero, I think, mostly para ma-defraud yung mga creditors, kaya mostly ginagawa ng mga tao. And syempre, para ma-prevent yung tax. And then, who can question the validity of the seal? So, ang pwede lang mag-question ng validity ng seal is yung interested party. So, yung mga walang kinalaman or hindi maapektuhan ng seal, so, ng mga kapitbahay mo or ng mga kakilala mo lang. So, hindi nila pwedeng dalhin sa korte at questionin yung sale. Ang pwede lang is yung mga heirs kasi sila yung mag-inherit. Creditors, andun sa government dahil sa tax related sa sale. Or sale, if donation pala siya, so yung sa donor's tax. Ganun. So, si husband and wife, hindi nila pwedeng questionin yung validity ng sale kasi nung ginawa pa lang nila yung sale, alam na nila na null and void yun. And pinaprevent sila ng batas na i-question yung maling ginawa nila. So, bawal maghugas kamay. And then, second exception is yung ating Article 191 of the Civil Code. So, inamend ito ng Article 134 and 135 of the Family Code. So, ang sinasabi ng Article 134 is, in the absence of an express declaration in the marriage settlements, the separation of property between spouses during the marriage shall not take place except by judicial order. Such judicial separation may either be voluntary or for sufficient cause. So, ang sinasabi niya lang, ang separation of property, dalawa lang siya. One is by marriage settlement and two is by judicial order, which may either be voluntary or for sufficient cause. Ang sinasabi ng Article 45 is yung kung ano-ano ba yung sufficient cause. So, first is that the spouse of the petitioner has been sentenced to a penalty which carries with it civil interdiction. So, yung petitioner, siya yung nagsampa ng kaso or yung pumunta sa korte. So, yung asawa nung pumunta sa korte, or yung sabihin natin si guilty spouse, so, na-penalize siya with civil interdiction. Ano ibig sabihin ng civil interdiction? Ibig sabihin niya, ang effects nito is the privation of rights, of the following rights. So, parental, guardianship, marital, and then dito sa fourth, right to manage property and to dispose of the same by acts inter vivos. So, dahil na-prevent na yung isa, pwede na tayo magkaroon ng separation of property. So, itong 1 to 3, enough na yung final judgment of the guilty or absent spouse. So, enough basis na siya para mag-grant yung judicial separation of property. So, yung number 2 is that the spouse of the petitioner has been judicially declared an absentee. So, you see, guilty spouse, na-declare na siya as an absentee ng court. And then, third, that loss of parental authority of the spouse of petitioner has been decreed by the court. So, si guilty spouse, na-declared na as nawala ng parental authority. And then, yung fourth, that the spouse of the petitioner, or the guilty spouse, has abandoned the latter or failed to comply with his or her obligation to the family. And then fifth, that the spouse granted the power of administration has abused the power, and that at the time of the petition, the spouse has been separated, in fact, for at least 1 year, and reconciliation is highly improbable. Mali pala to. So, at least 1 year. Reconciliation is highly improbable. And that's it. Please subscribe to help support this channel. Thank you.